Many people want to do big things in some way for God, but they are dishonest, unfaithful, compromised, or uncharitable in small things. When God sees that people are unfaithful in those small things, He doesn't entrust them with bigger things or give them special graces. In fact, that's why He leaves many people in darkness. Matthew 25:23, His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, I will set you over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." In the book of 1 Samuel, God chooses King Saul's replacement. We read that God sought a man after his own heart. Samuel was told that God had chosen someone from among the sons of Jesse. When the prophet Samuel looked upon Jesse's son Eliab, he mistakenly thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed is before him." But the Lord said to Samuel, quote, "Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." End quote. The Lord looks down from heaven, He sees all the children of men, and observes all their deeds. Psalm 33. For His eyes are on the ways of a man, and He sees all his steps. Job 34:21. Among all the inhabitants of Israel, the Lord looked down and saw David in the fields. He knew that David's intentions were to obey the Lord first and foremost. So He removed David from the obscurity of his father's house and made him king over Israel. 2 Samuel 7:8, the Lord said, "I took you from the pasture, from tending the flock, and appointed you ruler over my people Israel." Even if it never gets recognized by anyone on earth, if someone with the true faith is faithful to God and fulfilling one's state in life with the proper intention, God of course notices. He gives that person important graces now and a reward in His time. Matthew 20:16, so the last will be first and the first last. The only forum that ultimately matters is coram Deo, that which is done in the sight of God. The reason that God leaves so many in varying degrees of blindness or heresy or sin is that they're dishonest or unfaithful or unfair or compromised in their small dealings, comments, etc. Besides obvious mortal sins, examples of such unfaithfulness in smaller things would be dishonesty in argumentation, approving people's inappropriate behavior, failing to evangelize when one should, exaggerating things about people you don't like, repeatedly failing to fulfill your word, fudging the facts, promoting improper music or entertainment, not fulfilling basic duties of state such as to properly raise or discipline children, etc. These and many other failings are a reason that God withholds graces from people. And some of those things, of course, can be termed bigger things depending upon the specifics of the case. Matthew 12, but I say to you that every idle word that men will speak, they will render an account for it in the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. St. Cyril, if anyone harbors hypocrisy even in secret, God rejects that man as unfit for true service. But whoever is found worthy, to him He readily gives His grace. Holy things He does not give to dogs, but where He perceives a good conscience, there He gives the wondrous and salvific sea, at which demons tremble and which angels recognize. God knows whose intention is to please Him and who has a different agenda. He resists those whose desire is to please men or the world. It doesn't matter if someone is popular or influences many people or spends a lot of time and efforts that are purportedly for God, if the proper motivation or intention is lacking. When that is the case, the person will become an opponent of God's will and won't receive a reward. St. Alphonsus, in the estimation of men, the value of an act increases in proportion to the time spent in its performance. But before God, the value of an act increases in proportion to the purity of intention with which it is performed. For as the scripture says, men look only to the external acts, while God regards the heart. St. Benedict, the first degree of humility, then, is that a man always has the fear of God before his eyes, shunning all forgetfulness, and that he is ever mindful of all that God has commanded, that he always considers in his mind how those who despise God will burn in hell for their sins, and that life everlasting is prepared for those who fear God.